Hi. That was the Cardigans, one of my favorite bands, and I was listening to it when I was a kid. And the title of my topic is Losing My Favorite Game, How Journalists Are Not Catching Up with Open Data. Now, I know it's a long day, so I hope you guys are here with me because I really want you to be with me. Are you here? Okay. Okay. So, when I was a kid, there was only one TV channel where growing up in Russia you could watch clips like that. And that was, I guess you know, MTV. So MTV Russia was for us teenagers sort of a window, the way to feel connected to the world culture and also to feel that we are a part of it. And speaking of the popular cultures, I teach data journalism, so I always start my lectures with saying that Jon Snow was actually a data journalist. Well, maybe not exactly this Jon Snow, that one. How many people in the room know that Jon Snow? Okay, I expected some more. That's fine. Well, I will tell you the legend. So the legend goes as follows. Jon Snow was a Victorian doctor, not a reporter. But his work on cholera changed the world and told a story that anyone could understand. In 1850s, cholera was believed to be spread by miasmas in the air. Germs were not yet understood. So sudden and serious outbreak of cholera in London Soho was a mystery. Now, Jon Snow did something that data journalists often do now. He made a map. That is a map. So he put each death on a map as a bar. And you see, when he mapped it, he could really see how the cases are grouped around here. And in the center of those cases was a water pump. So this is his discovery. Now, Jon Snow didn't have a team of interactive developers. He was a physician working on a deadline. Still, his work changed the world. However, I know that not everybody's seen this infographics. I'm going to ask how many people seen this infographics. 2 people, 3 people, okay. So that's a country comparison by population by Nikolai Robakin, a Russian data statistician, published in 1912 and based by census of different countries. So you see, he puts a population embodied by the person which represents the country. So the biggest country is China. The next one is UK with all the colonies, then Russia, and then other countries. So actually, I'm surprised you guys don't really know Jon Snow. Actually, he is a legend. In London, there is a pub called Jon Snow. Here I am, very, very happy, sitting there, right next to that water pump, of course. And, well, when Jon Snow was trying to solve the cholera problem, he didn't think to get into all the PowerPoints about data journalism, but he did in the end. Nikolai Robakin, on the other hand, is not a very popular figure, and I think there is a reason behind that. Now, the reason is that data journalism history, like any other history, was written by white European men. And I'm not here to call for revisionism, although I do think that we should rediscover our past a little bit in each country. But the bigger problem is that data journalism history is still being written by the same people. In 2017, Google News Lab published a report, State of Data Journalism in 2017, the current state and challenges facing the field today. That's great. One of its findings is that 42% of journalists use data regularly, which is twice or more per week. That's wonderful, isn't it? The only problem I see is their survey sample. So if you go to the methodology section, you get to know that they did this whole survey in 4 countries: USA, UK, France, and Germany. And I think it's hard to talk about the democratizing effect of open data, let alone the data revolution, if we only concentrate on a handful of countries. And I think there are a few reasons why we're losing this game. Using the musical metaphor, why are we off the radar? So I live and work in Kyrgyzstan, where I teach data journalism. So I'm going to share now a few local examples, and I do hope that they resonate with you guys. So the first example is media scene. Kyrgyzstan has a wide and rich media scene. Free media, not so free media, sponsored by Russian, Western governments. But there is one field where all of them stand together, and that field is data. So that is an article by Azatik. Azatik is a local edition of Radio Liberty, and it says, the headline says, UNICEF, child mortality has decreased in Kyrgyzstan. Well, I'm not even going to criticize the headline, although I could, asking, for example, how much it has decreased in Kyrgyzstan, from where to where it has decreased in Kyrgyzstan, and has it decreased enough? But the problem is, the headline is the only thing they did right themselves. If you take this and all other media reports about this topic, you will see that they all, word by word, quote the UNICEF press release, where they say that, according to this report, in Kyrgyzstan from 1990 to 2016, child mortality under 5 has decreased by 2/3, and neonatal mortality has been decreased twice, from 24 to 12 cases per 1,000 live births. Now, who is comfortable with the definition neonatal mortality? I don't think you are, right? So that's a problem, because nobody was there to look to the data behind the report. Although if you go to the press release, you would find the data. You would also find the Explorer. They build a visualization so that it's easier to investigate the data. Nobody was there to ask specific questions to Kyrgyzstan. How does Kyrgyzstan really compare to other countries in the region? Who is the most vulnerable group not affected by the positive changes? How can we close the gap? That is very sad. The other sad story is that even doing data journalism is not always a good thing. So this is a piece of akchabar.kg, and they did a big story about health indicators and health budget. And one part of that is this infographics, which says neonatal mortality divided by health budget by region. They literally published this. I promise I did not make it worse for purpose. And they came up with this index where they say that the lowest score is in Narin region, which is here, and the score is 0.12 deaths per 1 million from the health budget. And I'm like, what am I to do with that? And the problem is not only that I don't know what to do, the other people will not know what to do. That happened because there was nobody to correct them. No data editor, no peer data reporter. Well, I think you don't even need to be a data specialist to give a feedback. Another example. I use health data a lot. I think for two main reasons. It's important and it's abundant. So if you want to learn how to work with open data and how to make people care, you really don't have to try hard when you do stories about health, because that matters to everyone. So one of the portals we were using a lot was the open data portal of the Ministry of Health. However, a couple of weeks ago, it looked like that. So it was down. So I pick up the phone and I call them and I say, hi, I'm a data journalist and I would like to see your portal working. And could you connect me to your IT person? They connect me. The IT person says, oh, hi, there was someone calling a couple of days ago with the same issue. And I'm like, yeah, I know this person, because of course it was me. And so I say, could you please make the portal working? And so he says, okay, call me back in the afternoon. So I call him back in the afternoon. This guy, his name was Arstan. He put the portal up. And then he says, well, I put the portal up for you, but I don't understand why would you need it, because it has old data. You don't maybe see it, but all the data is from last year. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly my next question. So maybe I should start sending requests to the Ministry of Health, like, why don't you update your portal? The problem is that I don't want to be that single person that wants new data. We should be many. And that's the problem. That's just few of the numerous examples. Apps and dashboards that die out once the donor money is over. Stories that got untold in the data that is buried. To change the thing, we should be many, and we should raise our voices so that we are not losing the game anymore. Thank you for your attention.